Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hard Knocks debuted the 2021 season last night on HBO. I watched it, featuring America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And it's funny, this morning, USA Today had a headline, 5 takeaways from Hard Knocks. I started reading it. I'm like, what am I reading this for? I don't need your 5 takeaways. I got a couple. Number one, I was not the biggest Dak Prescott fan. I think people that watch this show know that. I'm less of a Dak Prescott fan coming out of watching this show. What a whiner. What a whiner. Look, I understand you want to take every rep. I get it. You can't take every single rep. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He was very upset
that he couldn't.
That he was pulled early in this training camp a couple of weeks ago because they want to give the backups some work. Danny Bonaducci, the backup quarterback. Well, Ben DiNucci's his name, but I call him Danny Bonaducci, which means nothing to you, do you? He was the star of the Partridge Family. Anyways, that was one. Dak, come on, stop whining. Let these other guys have some work. And then, of course, he ends up getting hurt. 2, the biggest one was Jera. When he was talking to the team, I thought it was the head therapist. You said it was the team doctor.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
Yeah. So he's writing with an HB pencil these notes on Dak, talking with the medical staff on the phone. And we all take away different things. But my thing was this. He's eating a McDonald's Egg McMuffin, Jera Jones. And people are saying, well, what's odd about that? He's worth $7-8 billion. How did he not have a Red Seal chef at his ready? You know, here you go, Mr. Jones. You know, with his choice, an omelet station.
Yeah, exactly. He's got Benedict or something like.
Right. An omelet station, a guy cutting a roast at the end of the table. Jerry, when you're done with the trainer, we have your choice here of ham, roast beef. Do you want that in your omelet, Mr. Jones?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Right now.
I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back, old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show, a brand new week. It is episode number 275 of the RP Show. It's a live remote broadcast, but welcome back to Canada to me. We're live at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada, or the Christina First Nation. And look who I brought along. It's so nice to have him in the same area code. As a matter of fact, in the same room, the owner and president of DuPont Media and the RP Show, Darren Moose DuPont. How you doing, Moose?
I'm great. To see the whites of your eyes. Welcome.
It's weird.
Welcome back to Canada.
Yes, it's good to be here, ready to talk sports. And listen, we're here. This is the first of 56 shows at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're making ourselves at home. They're treating us. I just can't say enough about how well they're treating us here. I've been here for a couple of days. So we're going to settle on in, tell you what you need to know about Grey Eagle, how long they've been open, some of the great shows they've had and coming up, and Bob's your uncle. So it's going to be a lot of fun coming up on the program today. There you go. You get used to it. We're going to hear that a lot. And also coming up today, we're going to hear from our NFL insider, Jeff Reinebold, who moonlights as the Montreal Alouettes special teams coordinator. He of SkySports NFL coverage. He's in hour 1. And in hour 2, the great Theo Fleury, the pride of Oxbow, Saskatchewan, Calgary Flames great. Theo is going to be with us from here in Calgary. So I'm looking forward to that. And before we get into the quick 6 show topics, and as far as the Cowboys game, Darren, can I get away with saying I don't want to talk about it? Can I get away with that?
I don't know if you can get away with it or not. I understand it, though.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Because it is your show.
So I'm going to put it off for as long as I can. Let's start with the weekend photo album, because it was not a wild weekend, but a very fun weekend for all of us here at the RP Show. And RP Show photo albums presented by Great Western Brewing Company. Guys, what do you have for photos here? I know what I sent in, but I'm not sure what you sent in, Moose. What do we got, guys? What do we got? What do we got? Do we have them?
Yeah, I think we'll have some.
This is me and Chris Cyborg here in Calgary Saturday night. Dallas Athena's Women's Fighting Championship. Cyborg, world famous, 1.3 million Instagram followers. She's been called a beast. She's an unbelievably beautiful, accommodating, and engaging person. Love her. Love me some Cyborg. So that was Saturday night. This was me tooling around yesterday on Sunday. So I just stopped and took a shot of the Saddle Dome. I got some thoughts on the Saddle Dome. And it's also in my commentary today. My thoughts on whether the Saddle Dome has used up its usefulness or not. We're going to be talking about that a lot over the next month or so.
For sure.
So that was just me tooling around. They charged me $15 to get onto the grounds and take that photo, just so you know.
Wow.
But money well spent.
Worth it.
And we're contributing to the Calgary economy. What else you got, fellas? Rolling.
That might have been it.
Man, my ass is swollen. You
dropped the ball this morning, apparently. But I did post some photos on Twitter. I wondered if the guys would have grabbed it.
You have to send them to them.
I know. But
well,
hey.
How about that? Well, you were in Radville for Hockey Day in Saskatchewan.
That's right.
You broadcast the Rush game Friday night. Another loss for Saskatchewan. They've fallen to 1-4 as they fell to the San Diego Seals. Have I delayed enough about talking about the Dallas Cowboys?
You keep stalling, yeah.
Anyways, you're welcome for the Great Western Brewing Company weekend photo album. Brewed in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16 is unfiltered for peak flavor. Purchase at a store near you today, particularly all across the prairies. Darren, where's your head today? You're a little flighty today.
Well, maybe a little, but trying to make sure we get all set up and getting these shows
That's
on
what
the
it
air.
is. Okay.
That's number one, always.
Okay. Quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan, if you don't mind. Let's get into it. I'm just going to rattle off what happened on Wild Card Sunday in the National Football League. And by the way, other topics. We got Monday Night Football tonight, a playoff game in L.A. Next weekend's division playoffs. Bet Regal has their odds out already for the game. The NHL on Sunday. Dallas Athena's event here Saturday night. Raptors not going to face Kyle Lowry tonight. Have I delayed it enough? Versatile receiver Deebo Samuel ran for 26 yards for a touchdown. The play after an interception from Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, and the San Francisco 49ers held on for a 23-17 victory over the Dallas Cowboys. On Sunday, the Cowboys had a final chance with 32 seconds to go and were at the San Francisco 41 with down to 14 seconds left when Prescott took off up the middle, intending to slide and spike the ball for the final play. But Dallas didn't get the snap off from the 24-yard line until after the clock hit 0-0-0. After a brief delay, referee Alex Kemp announced the game was over, as was the Cowboys season. Tom Brady threw for 271 yards and 2 touchdowns, helping the Buccaneers launch their bid for a return to the Super Bowl. The defending champions set the tempo from the start, with Tom leading a pair of long touchdown drives in the opening quarter and building the lead to 17-0 by halftime. It was garbage time after that. And Patrick Mahomes threw for 404 yards and 5 touchdowns. Travis Kelce caught a touchdown pass and threw another. And Kansas City sent Pittsburgh quarterback Ben Roethlisberger into his anticipated retirement with a blowout of the Steelers on Sunday. So those were the games. Darren, there have been 5 playoff games, so far in the NFL. 4 went the odds way. 1 was the upset, and it was the one that a lot of people predicted, including our NFL insider Jim Lang, that the 49ers were going to Dallas and upset the Cowboys. There's a chance for a second upset tonight, which we'll talk about with the second point. My thoughts are in the Monday Morning Goalie column at rodpedersen.com. Dak Prescott has never been earned his money. I don't care about the $40 million he just signed for this year. He's never, when faced with a last-minute game-winning drive, he's never delivered. Tom Brady does it. Russell Wilson does it. Patrick Mahomes does it. Dak never has. Mike McCarthy, I can't take credit for this, but as someone said on Twitter, he's nothing more than Jason Garrett with a beer gut. Death, taxes, and the Dallas Cowboys crapping themselves in the playoffs. That's what you can count on in life. Death, taxes, and the Dallas Cowboys blowing it in the playoffs. Too harsh?
No, it's how you feel, right? And I think you speak for a lot of the Cowboy fans. When I was driving right, during that game here, but I pulled over in a couple of different towns and I caught some of the game. And the first one I stopped in, it was the touchdown drive that got them on the board, their first possession. I'm like, I don't know what Twitter's complaining about. The Cowboys look pretty good on this drive. Smart, it was calculated, ran the ball okay, but just not consistent enough. And you have that feeling with these quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, even Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, that when they have the ball and any time on the clock, you're just like, okay, we're done. You don't get that feeling with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. You kind of hope that they connect. And it's just a tough feeling. And heard from Jerry Jones, he's not happy about it either. He feels sick. So I understand it.
By the way, sprinkling in some comments. It's a brand new week. And can I say this for our Taco Time comment of the week? Here's the rule, because it's the Rod Pedersen Show and I get to make the rules and pick the winners and all the rest. It's great. I want no reference to tacos or burritos or taco salads. It has to do with sports. Just for this week only, Darren. So you don't have to can stop with the little metaphors and jokes. It's been fun for about a month or so, but the best sports comment of the week will be up for the $50 gift card from Taco Time, our wonderful sponsor of our viewer comments. Katie writes in, she says, I'm just happy I got a fantastic game last night with Regina versus Moose Jaw. A couple of good fights and a lot of amazing goals. We need to show Bedard's goal. The Regina Pats mollywhopped the Moose Jaw Warriors 7-1 on Sunday. The general watching here in Calgary says, the Panthers follow you, Rod. They are here in Calgary getting ready for my Flames tomorrow. Oh, I know. We'll get to it. But just listen, pump the brakes. We're talking about what happened on the weekend, okay? We got 48 hours, 2 shows to talk about the Flames and the Panthers on Tuesday night. And before we move on, what about the other games? I picked the Patriots were going to upset the Buffalo. It wasn't even close. What was the fight? The final was 33-3, right? And I thought, well, you were traveling Sunday. I was traveling Saturday. I missed most of those NFL games. But I thought, you know what? At halftime, the vaunted Bill Belichick will come up with something. They've been knocked against the ropes. He'll figure it all out. He didn't. The Bills stepped on the Patriots' throat. And forget about Bill Belichick for Coach of the Year. So that happened on Saturday. Your Raiders, your pick to upset the Bengals didn't happen. And, well, it was like the Cowboys game, Darren, when you said the score flattered the losing team.
Yeah,
like the Raiders, all they did was kick field goals all day.
You know, and you get down the field like that and kick field goals, it's deflating, and you just can't, especially against, good teams in the playoffs. You have to finish drives with touchdowns. You're right, the Raiders didn't do that on Saturday.
Folks, tell your friends. The RP Show is broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're live on Game Plus Television, which is available all across Alberta on TELUS Optic Television. Also on BC, the cable carrier TELUS Optic TV carries Game Plus TV. And in Saskatchewan, SaskTel Max, Bell MTS Cable in Manitoba, and then Rogers, Cogeco, Eastlink Cable, Videotron, all across Eastern Canada. We're live in all 10 provinces and 31 states. Call your cable provider for details, and, of course, on YouTube Live, where we have a lot of viewers. So moving on, 2.2, just a quick one tonight on the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. I see my cousin Christine watching in Medicine Hat. She says, I got to quit picking winners with my heart and go with my head. I don't know if that's the best betting strategy necessarily, but if you're going to throw money down, at least read up a little bit on who's in and who's out and what's the history between the two teams, which reminds me, on this game here tonight, the final wild card match in the NFL playoffs goes tonight on Monday Night Football. The LA Rams and Arizona Cardinals meet in the postseason for the first time since 1975. The NFC rivals played each other twice this regular season. Each team won once. The winner will face Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next weekend on divisional weekend. The Bet Regal odds for tonight have the Rams by 3.5. Deal or no deal, Moose?
I'm taking deal on that.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the Rams at 3.5. I think, at home, I think with the way they've played and the way that the Cardinals have struggled down the stretch. Yeah, I'll take the Rams at 3.5.
Should be a good game tonight. My cousin Chris says, do we have a live audience today? Today we do not, but I think there's a chance over the next 56 shows that we may. We're talking about moving the show around the facility. This is a vast facility, by the way.
Huge.
This reminds me very much of White Bear, my favorite casino at home and hotel. But forgive me for saying times 100, maybe 1,000. Because White Bear doesn't have the entertainment component of what this has. And we'll get into the story as to why we're here. We came here in September for the Cody Snyder Bull Busted event and ran into my buddy Sheldon here from Grey Eagle and Bob's your uncle. Things move fast, and here we are broadcasting live from this beautiful facility, and they're treating us like kings. We'll slip in a CFL topic for a moment. Don, our Navy friend, is watching, and he says, you mentioned the Legend poll in your Monday morning goalie column. While not good news for the CFL, I would like to see a similar poll about fan engagement for NHL, NBA, MLB, and NFL. Then we can discuss facts. What Don's referencing is a poll conducted by the Legend poll company last week, very reputable company, similar to the Angus Reid poll. And the results, the findings, 3% of respondents in this, 3% identified themselves as diehard CFL fans. And half the population saying, well, we've heard of the CFL. So that's the good news, Moose. The bad news, 3%. So I got people writing me going, I find that very hard to believe. Don't come at me, brah. I didn't publish the poll, but the results are in my column today. It's time. People need to, as my friend Johnny Athens would say, wake up and smell the coffee. Wake up and smell it. Because I've been saying this for a few years. The great Wally Buono, and I feel like I'm in his town, which ironically is actually Montreal, but I digress. He said a few years ago at a banquet I was at that the CFL's gotten stale. If I said it, I'd be burnt at the stake. But Wally could say it, and nobody does anything about it. And now we have a reputable poll saying 3% of Canadians identify themselves as diehard CFL fans. And here's Don saying, well, what about the other leagues? We're not talking about the other leagues. Over it. Wake up. By the way, I'm wearing what could be considered a Calgary Stampeders jacket. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, you had your red on.
I did some shopping at Cross Iron Mills yesterday. I love that place. And it serves as a great Calgary jacket.
Mm.
It doesn't have a Flames logo. It doesn't have a Stampeders logo, nor Hitman, nor Roughneck. But it covers them all.
Yeah.
And Calgary is identifiable with the color red. I think we would all agree with that. Calgary has a tremendous brand. The Mountains, the Cowboys, the Flames, the Stampeders, obviously. I love it. I come here and feel very comfortable. Not just the city, but now this specific resort. I'm not interested in leaving.
Well, when you
How about that?
You said Calgary jacket, my first thought was, well, you're coming back from Florida. You're going to need a big coat. But, it's actually above zero. It looks pretty light and comfortable. And Calgary's a wonderful place this time of year.
All times of year, actually.
Yeah.
But, and a note from Sunday, there was only one NHL game on Sunday. Elias Pettersson scored twice to end a 7-game goal drought, and Vancouver beat the Washington Capitals 4-2. Thatcher Demko made 31 saves as the Canucks snapped a 3-game losing streak. Vancouver won for the first time since January 1st, beating the team coach Bruce Boudreau got his first NHL job with back in 2007. So we'll talk a lot more NHL. Theo Fleury will join us as part of that coming up in hour 2. Flames and Panthers coming your way on Tuesday night. I noticed our good friend Adeline, the Florida Panthers PR gal, putting on LinkedIn here. I got to look at the numbers again, but it's like the Panthers have scored something along the lines of 92 goals in 5 seconds. Okay, I appreciate that. We have a guest here. Were we expecting a guest? I didn't even know we were expecting a guest. Well, hang on. We're going to a commercial break. She is going to flip her lid, Addie, when she sees me in the press box at the Saddle Dome on Tuesday night. I can tell, hi, Addie, I'm here too. I'm, as Don Cherry would say, I'm like a bad penny. You never know where I'm going to turn up. And it'll be the Saddle Dome tomorrow night. You and I, you're going, Moose. I hope you brought a suit.
I'm ready.
Did you bring a suit?
Of course.
Because if not, we're going to go get you one at Walmart.
All right.
We're only about halfway through the warm-up, okay? So we're broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, and we'll be back with a whole lot more right after this timeout. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is the RP Show, coming to you live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary, Alberta. As you see, it's rocking and rolling in here. And yeah, Saturday night is when I got in here first for the Dallas World Women's Fighting Championships. And that was deadly. Got to hang out with Cyborg. Yesterday did a little tour around town, little reminiscing moves. And on the air today, this is the greatest job in the world, I swear to God. Thank you, by the way, Moose. I don't thank you enough. And I do think I thank you like every day.
All the time.
The poll question came from one of our viewers, Robin, in the Gateway to the North. Came up with this last night on Twitter, and I saved it. I do enjoy audience participation if it alleviates my workload. And so he said, here's a great question for the poll for Monday's RP Show. Who gets out of the first round first, the Dallas Cowboys or the Toronto Maple Leafs? And I can say that the Cowboys are the Maple Leafs of the NFL.
simply because everybody's laughing at us in the Cowboys Nation and the Dallas Cowboys. So now I know how you feel, Moose, as a Leafs fan, and all of the NHL in Canada laughing at you guys. Doesn't feel very good, does it?
No, it doesn't. So I get it.
How would you answer the poll?
That's a real tough question. I probably, I got to say Toronto. I think it's not that it's not easier to get into the playoffs in the NHL, but I think once you get into the playoffs, I think the Leafs right now are just in a little bit better spot. But both teams have really high-end talent. They think that they're ready to contend, but just can't get it done when the chips are down. So it's a great poll question.
I'm really interested to see what the results of it are. And then there's no right answer until one of those teams gets out of the first round, of course. But it's starting to get a little annoying and certainly embarrassing. And I'm trying to remember what the term Jerry Jones said. Jera, after the game, I think he said he was sad and shocked or something like that.
He used the word sick.
I'm sick and shocked. Okay, that's what it is. Do we want to sit here and talk about the Dallas Cowboys? Because I can. This is what concerns me. I understand when you lose in a big game, it is quite frankly traumatic. Sports terms, it is. At some point, though, if you're the general manager of the team, and owner, how many times have I said this, Darren? If you don't know, who knows? You're supposed to know. That's your job. We're missing this, we're missing that. Some people know that. Like I remember, let's have a little fun here. I remember flying home from the 2012 Western semifinal, CFL Western semifinal. You longtime CFL fans will remember it. Fans of both the Stampeders and the Riders. I'm there with the Rough Riders. And the Stampeders won on a last-second 75-yard touchdown pass, Drew Tate to Romby Bryant. Remember that?
Yeah.
We're flying home on the team plane, and I was seated near the front. Brendan Tamman, the general manager, and Corey Chamberlain, the head coach, were sitting there, and Chame had a pencil out and his notepad. He's like, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. And the next year, we were hosting the Grey Cup. We went out and signed Dwight Anderson. We need a bit of an asshole. We need, you know what I mean? Like, we need this, we need this, we need this. And lo and behold, the next year, we won. Chame knew what it took to be a champion because he'd been a champion. Jerry should know. We've got 3 Super Bowls, for the love of Pete. So that's my whole thing with the Oilers. And look at Bradtree living here with the Flames.
Yeah.
He clearly said this isn't working. So he made his changes, and look where the Flames are. And by the way, holy smokes, have I enjoyed being here. I'm Red Deer in the whole thing here. Like, I like the Oilers. I'm like the Flame. I've been talking with the Flames the last couple of days. We've had our issues over the years. But you know what? They're big enough to get over it. I'm big enough to get over it. So I'd like to like both teams. I'm not sure that that's even possible. But I'm going off on a bit of a ramble rant here. But it's just, again, I'll give Jerry a couple of days to look back and say, oh, this is what we need. This is what we need. Fire the coach. You know, like they got rid of Michael Nolan last year, the defensive coordinator, and they couldn't catch a cold yesterday. Couldn't stop a nosebleed, as they say. Well, I don't know, but I'm not the owner and the GM. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't know, Jerry, who knows? Anyways, you have some thoughts on that before?
I look at the group, and I look at Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn, the 2 coordinators, and they're both, being talked about as like tier 1 head coaching candidates. And there's a strong feeling that neither one will be back. I mean, the Cowboys were the number 1 offense in the NFL throughout the regular season, which kind of feels like it, to me, as a non-Cowboy diehard fan, it feels like that came out of nowhere, that they were number 1, because it didn't feel like the Cowboys that we saw through the first 5 games of last year, when they were actually flying high and on pace to set records, but they set touchdown records. They set a bunch of records, yardage records, and they were the highest scoring team in the league. So where is Kellen Moore now in terms of being a head coaching candidate? How much of this falls on him, unable to get this offense going?
Yeah, well, that drive, Dak was 3 for 3 when they started at their 20-yard line with 42 seconds to go, but they bobbled it, they bungled it. Eric Tillman said it. years ago, and I never forgot. Players win and coaches lose. If the Cowboys had won the game, Dak's the hero and Trayvon Diggs and you name it, Zeke. But when you lose, we're putting it all on the coaches. And ET's like, what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Right.
But they are all the GOATs in this. Buford is watching on YouTube. He says the last play of the Cowboys game is another reason why the CFL game is better. There was plenty of time for another play. Still a dumb play call by the Cowboys. And he says the Leafs are the Detroit Lions of the NHL. Maybe, but I think the Cowboys and the Leafs have more similarities.
Much more. The Leafs make the playoffs.
Jeff, the Stamps fan. Listen, I get it. And do we have Jeff's Taco Time gift card? Did you bring it?
Yeah.
You can personally hand it over. He says, Rod, you can't be on both God's side and Satan's side. Actually, I can, and I have been in life, but I'm currently on God's team with no plans to change. It's the winning side. And it's like, what am I going to come into Calgary and be an Oiler fan? Do you think I'm an idiot? I'm not. And by the way, Jeff, you might want to go to rodpedersen.com and read my commentary today, because I wrote about, and you probably haven't seen it, Darren, because you've been running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But it was about the Saddle Dome and how I can't wait to spend some time in Calgary, some real time.
Yeah.
And go to the Saddle Dome and really have a look around for myself. Because I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. I had a tour of that rink when it was being built with Doug Sauter, who was the coach of the Calgary Wranglers. My dad was working for the Wranglers. I was like 8. And we were standing right at center ice in a pit of gravel. And Doug's like, they're putting the roof on this thing's going to look like a saddle. And my dad's like, come on. No, they're calling it the Saddle Dome. So when I was 8, that's where it started, Moose. And then I came back here in 1988 for the Olympics. I was 15. My parents and I.
Yep.
It was like my last trip with them. It's like the bar mitzvah for Canadians.
Right.
Come here for college. Go to Flames games. $10 tickets. We'd pile on a school bus. I was thinking this morning of who my buddies were. Brian Duff Gray. There was a bunch of us. You know, those memories were made in that rink. Watching Theo and the Flames. And then coming back here with the Pats and playing the Hitmen all those years. In 2001, quarterfinal, Game 7, Pavel Brendel on a breakaway in overtime. Breaks our heart. We're hosting the Memorial Cup that year. We had to go 43 days before the Memorial Cup started. I got a lot of history with that rink. Just me personally. And I drove around it yesterday going, the paint's chipping off that Saddle Dome sign. And there's a panel flapping in the wind on the side. You know what I'm like? I didn't see this before. And people have told me that I get too attached to things and you don't see them for what they are or what they've become. And I'm like, I'm at least open-minded enough now in life that maybe you're right. Maybe the concourses are too narrow. They seemed fine in 1987. But now the concourses are too narrow and the roof's too low and All I know is every time that I went there with the Pats, if we had a morning skate or a game or going to watch the Flames morning skates, it was special. And I have a tough time believing that it's not still special. But they're not consulting me, Darren, on whether the Saddle Dome has outlived its usefulness or not. But what a conundrum.
I know, right? And love and memories seems to hide a lot of bad things. It's funny, the paint is chipping off. There are panels flapping in the wind. It is, falling apart. And it's going to be replaced by a big box store, right? That you can't separate from any other box store in terms of arenas. They all look the same now. But no, it's been a wonderful kind of hallmark place. You go up in the Calgary Tower and you're like, oh, there's that. And that's the Saddle Dome. And there's the mountains and blah, blah. Now you're going to have kids asking, what's that big building? Oh, that's the hockey rink, and you won't be able to tell it apart from other places. What a cool
breaks
thing
my heart.
We're losing, yeah.
Roger Yee, watching in Calgary, says, our woke mayor killed the arena deal. They failed to realize all the other economic spin-offs with the building a brand new state-of-the-art facility. Well, of course. Gino DePauli's watching, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers. He says, you kids need anything, just give me a call. Oh, we will. Trust me, we will. And I appreciate that. From BW watching on YouTube, he says, Rod's rant comes early. Woohoo! I've had a couple, actually. One about the CFL Legend poll and now this. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says the Saddledome was quite the arena in the day for sure. I don't know, dude. I still think that it is. By the way, Rod's rant proudly brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today and book your duct cleaning. And if the deal still stands, tell them you were watching the RP show and they'll give you 10% off. One of my favorite lines from my buddy Dick, he's in the program with me, Moose.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him I sent you. They'll give you a good seat in the bathroom. Does Clark have access to the sound effects?
I don't know who's...
Somebody's... Hey!
There it is.
Somebody's hitting the Gray Eagle thing, too. Oh, my God. Nelson Hakowicz is watching. Nelson Hakowicz is watching our VP of Sim Events, and he says, Legend has it, Saddledome beers get you extra drunk for some reason. Yeah, it's called Dome beers. They call them heroin beers. It's like every beer they pour is out of the bottom of the keg. You know, there's something with extra wango in them there.
Yeah.
Like you stay long enough, you'll see people tumbling down the stairs. That's a very steep rake, as they say in the sports business or construction business. The rake is very steep. Trust me. Dome beers, heroin beers. Jenna's watching in Southern California, says, Dak walks into taco time after being released by the Cowboys. He notices a position opening for a lettuce layer. Dak thinks, I can do that. The fans say I know how to let us down. Wow. That's a good one. But I think
that kind of does both, right?
It's a sports and taco. Yeah. Jenna, I think, wasn't watching earlier when I said no taco references for the comments this week will be the winner. So Jenna put a lot of time into that. But just for this week, I think we will have no taco-related comments will win. Moose, I'm going to let you adjourn, okay?
Sounds good.
And we'll let Jeff Reinebold log in, our NFL analyst. As a matter of fact, give me a minute. I'm just going to pop into a quick sports update here. The teams with the two worst records in the NHL go head-to-head today. The league worst Montreal Canadiens take on the Arizona Coyotes in the only match featuring a Canadian team. Canadians have dropped 5 straight and have only won once in the last 13 games. The Coyotes were blanked 5-0 their last time out. It's not exactly the matchup basketball fans were hoping for. Kyle Lowry will not be in Miami's lineup tonight when the Toronto Raptors take on the Heat. He's out for personal reasons. It would have been Lowry's first game against his former team since he was acquired by Miami this past offseason. This sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Our NFL analyst, Jeff Reinebold, joins us next. We're broadcasting live the first of 56 shows from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
We are live from Calgary, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, the first of 56 shows here at Grey Eagle. And it's time to talk some NFL. And I'm just going to say that this is where Cowboys fans in Canada particularly have come to talk this morning. So I want to welcome in Jeff Reinebold from SkySports over in Europe, the Alouette special teams coordinator as well. JR, let's jump right into it. Good to see you, my man. You're looking great. Hey, Cowboys. One fan says here, penalties cost the game, not a botched quarterback sneak at the end. We're jumping right into it, Coach. What happened with the Dallas Cowboys yesterday?
Well, a little bit of all of that, Rod. You know, they just didn't play well enough to win. And you know, I'll go back to a coaching axiom that hangs in the offices at the University of Alabama. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it. And the number of penalties, 14 penalties in an NFL game, is, especially in a playoff game, is unreal. And I think the defensive line must have had 5 of those just themselves. You know, holding, hands to the face, just inexcusable things you can't really explain even. Like Lawrence is grabbing the pulling guard one time and tackling him. I mean, it's just completely outrageous. And that's the reason that they're going home.
So did the 49ers win it or did the Cowboys lose it? I would favor the latter, but are we not giving the 49ers enough credit?
Yeah, I think 49ers played actually pretty well. Jimmy made one bad throw late in the game. But you know, I thought Kyle Shanahan did a good job. They really schemed well in that game. Deebo Samuel's an outstanding player and can do so much for their football team. But you know, the intensity in the stadium was, you know, electric, like you would want it to be, a playoff atmosphere. And, you know, this now is 25 years, Rod, since the Cowboys have won a championship. And, you know, that the standard is still the same in Dallas. You're measured by Super Bowls, by nothing else. And, you know, it's been 25 years now for the Cowboys.
Well, you're a coach, so I don't know how you feel. I would not ask you to advocate or even if you think Mike McCarthy should stay or go. But if you're Jerry Jones, what are you going to do?
Well, that's been always the issue. The Cowboys have always been, or for the last 25 years have been anyway, a team that was all hat and no cattle, as they say in Texas. And, on paper, you look at them on paper, and they're a dynamic football team. They got great receivers. You got a great quarterback. The offensive line, 2 running backs. In my opinion, Pollard is probably a more dynamic back than Zeke is. Zeke has the big reputation, but, this is a production business. And when you look at the two of them when they got the ball in their hands, Pollard's the better player. Defensively, Dan Quinn did a great job of, fixing that thing because it was a mess last year at this time. But again, they're too good a football team to be going home at this point. And, that's not taking anything away from the 49ers. The 49ers won on the road, which is hard to do in pro football. But certainly the Cowboys underachieved at the most critical moments.
A lot of blame to go around. I want to ask you about the other games. The Patriots meltdown in Buffalo. I had them picked to be one of the upsets this weekend. Wasn't even close. What was your take of how that one went?
No,
down?
It wasn't. Well, what was amazing to me, and I was talking to Steve Tasker today on my podcast, and, we both felt the same thing. I told him, I said, Steve, after the second Dawson Knox touchdown, the body language of the Patriots was one of a team that had just realized they couldn't win the game. I mean, it was a beatdown. And, if in baseball, the best the pitcher can do is throw a perfect game. And there have only been a very few of those in the history of baseball. But if you were given a perfect game to a quarterback, you'd have to look at Josh Allen. You have more touchdown passes than you have incompletions. He got 5 touchdown passes and 4 incompletions in the game. He played outstanding football. And they never gave the Patriots a chance to do what they wanted to do, which is get into big sets and run the ball. When the game got to be a 2-score game, it was really over because the Patriots, Mac Jones, just not ready for that kind of game as a young quarterback. I think he's got a bright future, but they are not dynamic at receiver. They struggled to push the ball up the field. And when they got down by 2 scores, really they had no chance.
Please speak for all coaches when I ask you why Tom Brady was in the game so late.
I don't speak. Hey, be careful about me speaking for anybody but me. But it was kind of crazy, I thought, because you saw Wirfs goes down in the first quarter, Jensen goes down in the first quarter. They got all kinds of injury issues anyway. It was really surprising to me that you would, and they tried to protect him with the calls and all of it, but you got a right tackle that's in there, and he's struggling bad. And I understand that you want to close the game out, but if they lose Brady, they're done. And I think there are a lot of people that had those very same questions. What in the world is he doing in there this late in the game?
Just seems like that's what you do. That's what coaches do. I don't know why. No, who's his backup? I don't even know. We've never known the backup to Tom Brady or any other starter, really, for the most part. Coach, you called tonight's Rams-Cardinals game an epic showdown.
Turn around and hand it off. What's that?
Yeah, exactly. Let him do it. Yeah. You called tonight's Rams-Cardinals game epic. Do you think it will be?
Yeah, it should be. It should be. Here's the thing. You're looking at a Cardinals team that plays much, much better on the road. For whatever reason, they play really good football on the road and then struggle at home. So they're going into SoFi. We saw the warts on the Rams last week against the 49ers. If the Cardinals will run the ball, and be physical with the Rams, they've got a chance because their defense, the Cardinals' defense, is pretty good. Now, if they want to get, if Kingsbury wants to get cute and throw it all over the yard, the quarterback's that's not his thing. Again, he's too inconsistent as a young quarterback right now. But then on the other hand, you look at Stafford. And if Stafford throws 2 or 3 interceptions, which has kind of been what he's done the last 6 weeks of the season, the Rams are going to struggle also. So I think it's going to be a great football game.
Me too. And the Rams at times have been quite erratic this year. This is a super team, Jeff, built to play in the Super Bowl in their own stadium, but they had that 3-game losing streak. Do you think they can get it all together on the same day? Like, what do you expect out of the Rams tonight?
Well, the thing that concerns me about the Rams, when you look at them, RP, you've got Floyd, you've got Miller on the other side. You got the best defensive lineman in football in the middle of it. They got Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. You've got 4 or 5 premier defensive players. And yet, they struggle to stop people. I mean, they struggle to stop people. And what concerns me a little bit about them is there is some soft football that they put on film where people just bully them around. And that's what the 49ers did to them in the second half. They just got in 2 tight ends and just pounded them. They got to get that fixed because, when you put whatever you put on tape that you don't do well, you're going to get a bunch of it until you show people that you can defend it or you can, that you fixed it. Because right now, they can't stop the run. Aaron Donald is the best defensive lineman in football, and they can't stop the run.
And Kyler Murray can throw it. He can scramble. They got a decent enough ground game. So you've sold me on what a great game is going to be. The Rams, 3.5-point favorites at Bet Regal. I'm taking it, but I can't wait to watch the game. Coach, thanks for the analysis as always. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll catch up with you in a week.
Hey, you had Fleury on yet?
Next hour.
Okay, do me a favor, will you? I don't know anything about hockey. I know nothing about it. I don't even pretend to know. But I tell you what, I know high-level athletes and I know great competitors. And tell him that I thought he was my favorite hockey player. I love to watch him play.
He plays with fire. He's a tremendous person. I will pass it along, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. See ya.
Jeff Reinebold checking in from Sky Sports in Europe. Taco Time viewer takeover next. And indeed, Theo Fleury coming up in hour 2. You're watching the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
And it is the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. It's going wonderfully. We're going to be here for many, many days, and they've made us feel right at home. Couldn't be more appreciative of it. Hello, there we are. We're over here in the event center where Saturday night was the Dallas Athena's Women's World Fighting Championship. I might talk about that in a moment. I just want to tell you the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is which team gets out of the first round first, the Dallas Cowboys or the Toronto Maple Leafs? And unfortunately, they're both have become the laughingstock of their respective leagues. Oh, am I ranting on this now? I can. Eddie, on Twitter, 53% of you saying the Dallas Cowboys will win a first round game/series first. 53%. And of course, there's no right answer until it actually happens. And for us Cowboy fans, we got to wait another year. For the Leafs, at least maybe a couple of months before they lose in the first round. Hey, Tough Tribe for Men is one of our newest and most trusted partners at the RP Show. Tough Tribe for Men contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We are part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to Clean Beauty for Men, available now at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4, toughtribeformen.com, and Amazon Canada. So we're going to move into Taco Time viewer takeover here. In the time we have left, Taco Time wants you to know they're not tater tots. They're Mexi fries. And I'm still not sure about that, but I'll take their word for it. Saturday night, I got here late, okay? They had to scrub a couple of fights at the Dallas Athena's Women's World Fighting Championship for a variety of reasons. I think one didn't make her physical, didn't pass her physical. The other one, I think, came down with COVID or had a blood issue. So I got here right at the tail end of it because it was a shorter card than normal. But then I went over to the after party, and after party, as entertaining as the fights, okay? It's where I hung out with Cyborg, and they had this whole long spread of food. And, of course, I don't drink anymore, so what am I going to do? Eat. And there was this bowl of tater tots, like a huge wok, drizzled in sour cream and cheese and bacon bits, and I fell to my knees. I'm like, really? And maybe they were Mexi fries. I don't know. But it was a great time. My cousin Chris in Medicine Hat says, I'm worried for the Cards tonight, same as you were about your Cowboys. I'm worried anytime the Cowboys play. Anytime they play in the playoffs, I'm worried. And you found out yesterday why. We are doing a remote broadcast. Clark's working from home. How much time we got, guys? Are you just going to punt me out, or what are we looking at here? We still got a couple minutes? Okay. My clock must be off. Thanks, Rolf. John, watching on YouTube, says, good day, people. Connor McDavid, a must-trade to the Detroit Red Wings. Overall, good for the NHL. Be careful, John. If I know who you are, you might get banned.
Next hour, Moose will join us again, and we will talk about a lot of NHL. We got to get into the Oilers situation. From Chris, she says 2 weeks to 56 days. Wow. I know, right? They're going to be sick of us here at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. But so far, we couldn't be getting along better. It's been amazing. From Tacona Powley, watching in Winnipeg, says, how come Dave Tippett didn't throw Stuart Skinner under the bus with his puck handling blunders, like he threw Mikko Koskinen under the bus? Oh, see, now we're getting somewhere. We'll talk about that next hour. A lot of this NHL talk, a little more on the Saddle Dome and some of the things that I'm going to be investigating over the next couple of weeks here in Calgary, the Rocky Mountains, the Saddle Dome, the Stampeders, Calgary as a CFL city, the blossoming MMA scene here. I think we're out of time, guys. We're normally taking a break by now here in hour one, but I'll trust you in this instance. Interesting that Jeff Reinebold brought up Theo Fleury, and Theo's going to be with us next hour. The general somewhere along here said, but the general says, Theo wasn't amazing, but I loved him nonetheless. Theo was amazing. He was over a point a game, Stanley Cup champion, Olympic gold medal. You zip it, or we're going to have a problem. Hour 2 coming up right after this break. You're watching on Game Plus and YouTube Live and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com. See you after the break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big
right now.
I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. Lovingly brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer. And if you're watching, you can see that we're in a new locale. It's the first of many, many shows at Grey Eagle Resort in Calgary. Sakina First Nation, just southwest of Calgary, off Stony, off Coachella, actually.
Resort and Casino.
And we're bringing him back in Hour 2. We got the Moose with us. The Moose is loose, but he's playing hurt. He's playing under protest. Moose, tell the viewers what happened this morning. I'm starting to worry about you.
I'm worried about me too. I hurt my back, and I'm not sure what happened. I was leaning down. I must have been leaning down to pick something up, but my upper back, shooting pain, like really sharp, and it's tough to move around.
Well, I feel like we might have to take you down to the Saddle Dome and get you some Dome beers. Shoot that thing up, man. A heroin beer, something. So we welcome all of the Calgary viewers, but we welcome all of the viewers from everywhere here on Game Plus Television. We're live across the country on Game Plus Television. And here in Alberta, it's carried on TELUS Optic TV, same as BC on TELUS Optic TV. The equivalent, SaskTel Max in Saskatchewan, Bell MTS in Manitoba. But if you don't have that as your cable provider, we welcome those watching on YouTube Live. And listen, the Oiler fans are fairly quiet, but our analytics show us that they're watching. They're just not commenting. I can't figure it out, other than they feel like they've got nothing to say. And God knows the Elks fans don't have a lot to say either. But just in the break, I noticed that Mikko Koskinen will start Thursday night for the Edmonton Oilers against the Florida Panthers. Moose and I will be at the Saddle Dome Tuesday night when the Florida Panthers come into town to take on the Flames. And like I say, I can't wait to see Adeline, the Senior VP of Communications for the Florida Panthers. She is going to flip her lid when she sees me in the press box after so many games down in Florida. So a lot of topics on the table. We're talking about NFL wildcard playoff weekend and your thoughts coming out of those. Everybody's got thoughts. Also, we are divulging more and more details as we go. The deal is 56 shows from Grey Eagle. Is it not, Moose? Is that not what the deal is? 56 shows?
56 nights, that's for sure.
Okay, 56 nights. So, because that's kind of blown everybody's skirt up in the comment section. They're like, what? And it's broken up into blocks of 2 weeks, so it's not straight. And I see Jeff, the Stamps fan, saying, so you're not going to Super Bowl in Los Angeles? Yes, we are going to Super Bowl in Los Angeles, and we're broadcasting live from there, but then we're coming back to Calgary and broadcasting from Grey Eagle. So don't sit there and worry your precious little head. Just sit back and let us entertain you, because that's what we do here, and be part of the discussion. All I can tell you that is that it's very, very exciting what we're doing in this life that we're leading. And coming in here on Saturday night for the MMA event was just and hanging out with Cyborg. What did you say, Moose? Kim Coates to Cyborg to Jeff Reinebold.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad life. It's a lot of fun, actually.
It's pretty cool.
I get this. John in Edmonton is wide awake, and he's writing in with a machine gun of comment. And he's like, the WHL trade deadline is today, Rod. John's really trying to get my attention. So I've read your comment, John, and that's the only comment I'm going to read for today. I am not that interested in the WHL trade deadline, but for this reason. It's been such a mishmash of a season. I almost wonder why even having a trade deadline. No, I understand. Having worked in the league long enough, the Western Hockey League, yeah, coaches and GMs going nuts about it. But I'm sitting over here on the media fan side now going, just get through the season, boys. The Pats hadn't had a game since January 1st until Sunday when they beat the Moose Jaw Warriors 7-1. And I understand it. What was it, Darren? It's like 256 players changed hands on the trade deadline day. Picks and players. Something obscene.
Right.
And the WHL GMs were like, no, we'll never do that again. Then I think the next year they did even more. So I'm just play the games, okay? And now my Pats sit 10th, and I really only look up to see how the Pats are doing. Sorry to say. Who's the contender? Is it Winnipeg's going to be making deals? I see the Winnipeg viewers have chimed in saying they're hitting refresh to see what Winnipeg's doing. They don't even need to do anything. The WHL isn't like it used to be when Kelly McCrimmon would pull the trigger on that huge deal to get Brian McCabe or, well, he had Wade Redden, right? Or whomever. Like,
right.
We don't really have those days anymore, do we?
Not at that scale, but it's still there a little bit. I think that's what fans are waiting for, right? They're waiting for that deal. You know, Winnipeg is the top team in the country, but you can always be better, right? We can always get
for sure
an asset. So you're waiting to see, because you don't want to go into the playoffs with any uncertainty as a fan base. You want to know we're going to win the whole thing. You know, Edmonton's pretty good. Kamloops is good. We know about the top teams. You know, what's a team like Saskatoon going to do that are kind of in the mix or just outside brand? And it'll be fun to watch to see what happens. But I'm with you. This year, it feels less about me sitting here being like, who's in first, who's in second, who's winning, more that, hey, they're playing and they're, you know, it feels more like that's what we're sitting on the edge of our seat about is, are they going to play or not? So hopefully they get through the season. Hopefully, you know, your team makes a deal if you want them to make a deal, and everybody has a good time.
BW watching on YouTube says, can we hear the RP text line jingle more so I can get the big time jingle out of my mind? I think it's coming up in our next commercial block, the ad for the text line, which I haven't even opened up the 902 text line yet. When we do these shows, it's a little like we're camping, right? So it's like, I forgot the craft dinner.
Exactly.
You know what? So I'll go and pick some up. So we'll get there. Somebody said, who's performing here at Grey Eagle this week? I can't remember who it is. Somebody wrote, there's a lot of comments coming in today. I don't know who's performing here this week, but I can tell you this. I think everybody has performed here at Grey Eagle. Now, Moose said, forgive me, and I will get to sports talk in a minute, but Moose said, oh, George Strait hasn't performed here. Patience, Grasshopper. This place opened in 2016, 2017. George hasn't been touring since, Moose, okay?
Now, to be fair, I asked if he had played here because I'm looking around at all.
Is that how you said it? Because
Yeah.
I didn't hear it like that.
So I know. I'm looking around. I was trying to find George Strait's guitar. I was wondering if maybe in his last years of touring, he'd maybe made a stop.
Okay, I didn't hear it that way. So I apologize to you. But there's a story. Like I was walking with Trace Adkins, Papa Roach, Huey Lewis in the News, Billy Bob Thornton. It's like, who hasn't played here? But Moose is like, well, George Strait hasn't played here. But George stopped touring.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting story behind that. Just give me 30 seconds. My cousin Robin is about as large a George Strait fan as me. And George's last concert ever was going to be in San Antonio. And she went to it. But I was trying to find a way to get to San Antonio. It's George Strait's last concert. I got to be there. I'm trying to find flights. Blah, blah, blah. Riders were opening camp Sunday in Saskatoon. The concert was Saturday. I'm like, how am I going to get from San Antonio to Saskatoon by 8 a.m. Sunday? Can't be done. Ended up not going. I missed it. Was crestfallen. Robin brought me back one of those plastic cups, Darren, and a poster. It was very nice of Robin, who lives here, by the way, in Calgary. And then, like a couple years later, George Strait announces that he's doing a residency in Las Vegas. I can't remember where. What if I'd broken my back getting to San Antonio for your last show, and then you go and end up doing more shows? So now I don't even care to go see him in Vegas. I've seen him 3 times live anyways. So he's supposed to be done touring, Darren, and that's why he's not here at Grey Eagle, but he only goes to Las Vegas if he's going to do any shows. And now you know the rest of the story.
So will we know when George Strait actually does his last show? Will we know that his last show's
And can we believe him when he does? That's the point.
Exactly.
Like, I love him, but come on, George. Huh? And I don't think Robin regrets going. Just saying. Yes, they're saying, oh, yeah, now we got people Googling what's going on at Grey Eagle. Letterkenny live on tour March 5th. Letterkenny, when they were in Regina last time, they got a message to Letterkenny that I'd Something we were trying to get him on the show. That's what it was. And then they were going to bring me into their show, and it ended up falling apart. Maybe it'll happen here.
Ooh.
I'm a big Letterkenny fan. Oh, and by the way, Nelson writes in and says, Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, he says, marketing, it does strange things to people. I'm not sure what that really means. But just 1 point on the CFL Legend poll last week, the Legend poll with 3% of respondents saying they are diehard CFL fans. And we have CFL fans writing into this show going, but let's talk about the other leagues. And when I meant to come back on that, and I'll just say this, and I'm not going to rant on it, Darren. I'm not going to freak out. But what that reminds me of is this. When I was with the Pats for many, many years, and we were really bad for many, many years, and ownership, I won't say whom, but on those hundreds of thousands of miles across the Western Canadian highways, yeah, well, we suck, but the Blades are worse. Look at the Blades have had less wins than us. We're talking about the Blades, okay? We're talking about us and how much we suck. Stop pointing out the only team that's been the only team out of the 11 in our conference been worse than us is them. Well, they've been worse than us, so we're not the worst. That's the sense I get with the CFL poll. Oh, only 3%. Well, let's talk about the other leagues. No, let's talk about you and why you can't sell tickets and why the brand's declining and why the youngsters don't care about you anymore. That's my. Do you see the parallel? Am I completely out to lunch or?
This team is worse than we are. They suck, right? Yeah, but you still suck. That doesn't make you not suck, right? I mean, yeah. It's a deflection. It's a tactic, right? It's a tactic.
No, they actually believed it. They didn't know what they were doing. They actually believe we're not the worst. So we're not the worst. We're not the worst. Hey, I don't think they throw parades for not being the worst team in the league.
But they're all getting their Christmas bonus because you're not in last place.
How some operations just suck the life out of you. Which reminds me, with this job now, if George Strait was playing tomorrow in Shanghai, you'd let me go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I wanted to.
Yeah.
People wonder why I don't want to be handcuffed to a team anymore. My God, they're never going to get it. Oh, and Jason in Red Deer, by the way, says Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan, February 11th. That is the Grits and Boots tour or something like that. Are we here February 11th? No, we're at Super Bowl.
We're at Super Bowl. We get back the next day. Shoot. Pam Tillis, Lori Morgan, that'd be great.
Pizza, ice cream. Pizza, ice cream.
They're both good.
They're both good.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't talked about any sports, really, in this segment. We can come back and talk about it with Theo.
Yeah.
Don goes on to say, the guy that started me on this rant, he goes, I thought you weren't going to rant. It just pisses me off that they won't acknowledge what their problems are. And this whole idea, just give me the 60 seconds that are left with this. I see the Twitter accounts, man. Let's talk about what the CFL needs to change. And I'll put a poll up about, why are we talking about that? Like, they're the CFL. Nothing needs to change with the CFL from a rules standpoint. It's all in my Monday column. But they've completely sucked all the life out of the league, all the color out of the league, all the personality out of the league. They think they're the NFL, but they're not. They don't want to acknowledge what they are. And the people that aren't in the league anymore, of which I'm in that group, and there's a large group of very accomplished men and women who have gone on to different and, dare I say, better things, sitting back going, until the CFL acknowledges what it is and that it has a problem, it's never going to be able to begin the recovery effort. And the other thing is, there's a lot of people in high-profile jobs in the CFL that don't even know what the history of the CFL is. We had a commissioner that didn't even know, for God's sakes, and they fired him 2 years too late. There's a lot of people in place that don't even know the history of the league, and they're calling the shots. How's that going to work out? So I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. When we come back, Rams, Cardinals, Stuart Skinner's got COVID. I'm over it. You're watching the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You are looking live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Brand new week in the RP Show. We're taking care of business. Has BTO performed here, Moose?
I believe so.
As we bring in the mood, taking care of business.
They had to have.
Asking you shall receive, my good friend Sheldon Lesham, Director of Entertainment here at Grey Eagle, ran out of his cage here in the break and said, do you guys not have the list of people coming up here? I said, what'd I say? Grits and
boots.
Grits and boots tour. I said Grits and Glamour tour, February the 11th. Coming to the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, the country music royalty, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. What part of no don't you understand? Pam Tillis, don't tell me what to do. You know those songs?
Yeah, I know
you know
Pam Tillis.
Mel's daughter. Winners of the Grammy Award and highly celebrated by critics. They're known for melodic voices and incredible shows. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan bring their Grits and Glamour tour to the Grey Eagle Event Center on Friday, February the 11th. Tickets still available at Ticketmaster.ca. Are you not doing a Rush game that night or that weekend?
Nope. The February 11th? I don't believe so.
Okay. All I know is I'm going to be in Los Angeles at Super Bowl. I only worry about myself. A lot of people should try that. And then Foreigner, March 19th and 20th. Come sing along with your all-time favorite rock band, Foreigner. 2 shows, March 19th and 20th at the Grey Eagle Event Center. Foreigner, the Hits on Tour, the biggest classic rock tour of 2022. We got the Beach Boys, April 14th. Buddy Guy, April 30th.
It's
George Thorogood, May 6th. Rockin' and rollin' here at Grey Eagle. By the way, hour 2 of the program is brought to you by Original 16. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today. Available all across Western Canada. Great Westerns, Original 16. To the actual sports talk, and thanks for bearing with me through all of that. On this Monday of the RP Show, Daytime Sports Talk, Williams watching in Lloydminster, Canada's only border city. He says, hey, Rod, William from Lloyd here. I'm sick today that our Cowboys got beat, but I'm getting used to it. And this CFL thing about this poll, marketing and getting the playoffs on CTV or something better than just TSN if you want more eyeballs. But nothing's wrong with the rules. That's from William on the 902 line. Pick up the phone and text RP, Rod Pedersen, at 902-518-3033. I don't mind the morphing of the CFL and NFL talk. I don't, Darren. And you were driving, so you weren't on your phone yesterday. But this talk between CFL and NFL was actually nauseating to me. Can we not just enjoy the NFL playoffs? Why are we dragging the CFL into this? But the one thing that I thought was, everybody says, oh, TSN, the cable network for our American viewers that don't know what we're talking about. They only air the CFL playoff games, not the over-the-air network. CTV is like the NBC, CBS, ABC. Why not put all the CFL games on the over-the-air? Why are we just waiting for Grey Cup, Darren? And I do want to get around to hockey here, but why stop there? Why is the CFL not putting their foot down and saying, we want our games on CTV? You're doing it with the NFL games. Would be a nice start, wouldn't it?
It would be a nice start. It absolutely would be. But that, to me, screams a little bit about the value of the product. And, Bell Media, I can't speak for them because I'm not in those meetings or those conversations, but they clearly don't see it as a valuable enough product to put on the CTV network, which has more viewership than TSN, right? That's a bigger network. CTV is a much larger network. It's not a niche sports network like TSN is. So the value of the programming that's on CTV during CFL games, well, obviously that's more valuable than putting a CFL game on that. And that's time slot.
And what does that say? Goes back to the discussion of the CFL, I don't think, wants to hear the truth. I just opened up the 902 text line and it's full. Ron in Calgary writes in and says, thanks again for tickets to the MMA. It was awesome. It was awesome. Right over my shoulder here. Moose, you've barely been in town. I'll take you for a tour of this place
please.
When we're done here. Just over my other side of this wall is the huge event center, which seats thousands, and that's where the event was the other night. Palace Athena's Women World's Fighting Championships. I think when they have their second card, it'll be here too, and I'd like to think that we would be here too. On the topic of William and in Lloyd about the Cowboys, our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, which team gets out of the first round first? The Dallas Cowboys or the Toronto Maple Leafs? And as we sit here today into hour 2 of the show, the Leafs now lead with 53% of the vote. It's like a 50-50 proposition. I voted for the Cowboys to get out of the first round first. He voted for the Leafs to get out of the first round first. I guess we'll see. Jack Fulton watching in Vulcan, Alberta, regarding a discussion about our hour 2 guest, Theo Fleury, coming up later on this hour. Jack says, Theo wasn't amazing. He was absolutely outstanding and should be in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. What he accomplished on the ice was Hall of Fame worthy, but what he overcame after hockey was something the NHL should be not only supporting Theo in, but should be hiring to help other NHL players in their struggle. Yeah, I don't get it. I'll never get it. And I love Gino Reda. I've been around Gino a lot. We worked the World Juniors together, but I'll never forget Gino saying on SportsCenter one time, Theo's not in the Hall of Fame because of the stigma. The hair didn't just raise on the back of my neck, Darren. It raised on my back and everywhere else. My hackles got up, and I don't even know what a hackle is because he's the victim of child sex abuse. It's his fault. Got it. Corey, watching in the sweatpants capital, who incidentally texted at 11:11 a.m. Hi, are you going to have Bo Levi Mitchell on the show? What do you think, Moose? I'm leaving that up to producer Clark. Wouldn't it be something if this door flew open and Bo Levi Mitchell walked through? I think it would be what the CFL needs the most this offseason is Bo Levi Mitchell on the RP show, live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination.
Wouldn't that be something?
What do you think?
Now, I have heard that he might not be in town.
What? Where'd you hear that?
But I don't know if that's true, and I can't remember where I heard that, okay? So,
dude,
how credible is it?
Dude.
But if he is,
we're going to be here for 56 days.
We've got a long time to make this happen.
Maybe he's not here now, but that's not to say he's never going to be here.
That's right.
I want to say something more. Just perusing the comments, and none of them have tickled my fancy. So, back to us. Sitting around a table the other night at the MMA after party, which, as I say, after parties always at least as entertaining as the event themselves. I realized, my mind's going off in all these places. I'm realizing, A, that all the experiences in my life have set me up for where I am exactly right now. 20 years with the Rough Riders, 15 with the Pats, 17 in the Western Hockey League overall, the recovery work, the MMA work. I'm sitting there around this table. I kind of walked into the after party going, Darren, I'm not really the biggest MMA guy. Are they going to even welcome me?
Right.
And of course, I sit down at a table and I know the referees and the announcers and some of the contestants and the judges because of past shows that I'd done. See what I'm saying? Like it's all coming together. But a lot of them were Calgary people. And to say they were chortling, as I put in my Monday morning goalie column, which, by the way, do you know what chortling means? To chortle? To laugh gleefully.
Okay.
They're laughing gleefully at the Edmonton Oilers down here in Calgary. And I don't think Edmonton cares because they got bigger fish to fry. I don't think they care how they're being perceived in Calgary right now. But as I put in my column this morning, the Monday morning goalie at rodpedersen.com, I don't think the Oilers come out of this. I.e., I think they missed the playoffs. Wow. That's what I see. What do you think?
Well, yeah. And as you're thinking and you're talking about that, it has me thinking, back to their hot start. And I'm like, but those Oilers aren't going to make the playoffs that were so good and dominant.
Still the same team.
But look, same team. And, you see that it takes a little bit of time and coaches have figured them out, right? And here's how we can attack the Oilers. And here's the areas we need to focus on. And we'll let those guys do their thing and we're going to win hockey games. And they've figured it out, and they've been able to contain McDavid and Draisaitl a little bit. And, when that happens, it's tough for everybody else to get going. So maybe coaches have figured them out and maybe they're not going to snap out of this.
That's possible. From some of the viewers here, Oleg watching in Winnipeg says, I think Rod just called MMA fighters contestants. Rod's so funny. I would call anybody contestant. I initially didn't think I called them contestants, but upon review, I might have.
I don't know what the MMA feeling is, but it's we've been around boxing people, you and I, quite a bit. And they don't want to be called fighters.
No, that's
kind of where it comes into, right?
Can't call them fights. You got to call them bouts.
They're bouts. They're contests. It's athletes. It's the two combatants. It's competitors. Yeah, that's
why I said it.
Yeah.
But I'm past worrying about my comments being torn apart and second, third, and fourth guest. Just keep watching. I'll do the talking. Okay. Here come the Oilers fans. Kevin Olenek says, not sure if the Flames have any place to laugh. They may not make the playoffs. In my time, what are you laughing about?
I can just see you getting ready.
Well, in my time, I want to save it for the book, but I'm a little like Henry Burris. Like, Henry wanted to tell the story of why he left the Rough Riders. And I said, Henry, we need to write the book now, back when it happened in 2005. Nobody cares anymore. At some point, nobody's going to care about my history with the Calgary Flames.
That's right.
Maybe I just spill it out on this show or hold it inside. I'm not sure. But, you know, the Flames know. They know.
Yeah.
And we get along great because I'm going to be with them tomorrow night. It's all set up. But here in Calgary, there were certain people with the Flames that as long as they finished ahead of the Oilers, that's all they cared about. And that's a bit of a problem. I think that speaks to what some of the culture issues were with the Calgary Flames that I don't think are there anymore or are certainly lessening and being eradicated. You got to get rid of that way of thinking. In Edmonton, they don't care about the Flames. They don't. It's because we've spent a lot of time around them. We've got a lot of great friends there. Dave Tippett, really good friend of mine. It's the way of thinking, though. Dave's not really wrapped up in that Oiler-Edmonton way of thinking, right?
Right.
But a lot of folks up there still are. But the Oilers, it's Stanley Cup or bust in Edmonton. It always is. Hasn't always been that way with Calgary. As long as we finish ahead of Edmonton, we're fine.
Right.
And so that's the thing with Kevin. He's like, well, the Flames better not laugh. But the fans, they're always going to laugh because that's the way they're wired to think here. And right now, they've got reason to. You can't really fault them for that, can you?
No, you can't. I mean, that's a big part of what they try and accomplish. That's a winning season if you beat Edmonton, right? I mean, obviously, they want to win Stanley Cups and they want to get into the playoffs and everything else. But for a fan base who hasn't won a lot in terms of cups, you got to take what you can get.
John Ohm, watching in Winnipeg, says, the Battle of Alberta, some of the best hockey ever. Sure. Are we talking about the 80s? Are we talking about now? Are we talking about Mike Smith, Cam Talbot? What are we talking about here? Because the Battle of Florida right now is way better. It's way better. They hate each other more. Right now, they hate each other more. These two teams now. And the games are better. Oh. Listen, I'm going to let you go, Moose. Some are asking for your take on tennis, if you can believe. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Well, I've seen the tennis.
You haven't seen that people want your thoughts on it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so when you come back for overtime, we'll talk about that and more.
Great.
Okay. Theo Fleury coming in next. We are broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. Shoot, why not all of Alberta? It's the greatest place I've been. We are live on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
We're live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. And I always love seeing the face of this. I love hearing his name. Theron Fleury, NHL great, Saskatchewan great, pride of Oxbow's Fast, going to join us today on video chat. And there's a lot of things to get into with you, Theo. You know, a few interviews ago, I said I wanted your take on the NHL and the Flames, and you're like, well, I'm not really following it. And I didn't get it at the time. But now it's like me with the Riders and the CFL. I'm not really following it, and people can't really get their head around that. So as I'm sitting here today, what's on your mind, pal? What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's just, you know, we're living in one of the most challenging times in, you know, our lifetime. And, you know, I spend most of my days, you know, talking people off the ledge. You know, people have had enough, and you know, their mental state of trying to stay present and, you know, not really try to think about, you know, where we're headed or where we're going. And so, you know, it's the craziest time that I've been, you know, alive, and I'm, you know, directly seeing that, you know, on an everyday basis, especially, you know, when I've sort of put myself out there to say to people, if you have nobody to talk to, or, you know, you're struggling or whatever's going on, you know, I always make myself available to those kind of people.
Well, you're a certified recovery coach like me. We went through the same academy. And here's, like, what do you got now? 14 years, Theo? Are you 15 yet sober? What are you at?
Let me check my little ticker.
You're out. Okay.
Yeah. Hang on. Oh, shit. Hang on.
I'll check mine.
Yeah.
5,964 days. 5,964 days, which is just a little over 16 years. So
16, man, it kind of goes. My 2,547 days here, and I'm just shy of 7 years. And the reason I bring that up, Theo, is you and I know how to live one day at a time, sort of float, take things as they go. So we've survived this. Most people don't. So they've done a pretty remarkable job not coming unglued to this point, wouldn't you say? Because I couldn't have handled it the way I was before.
Yeah. Well, what we would have done before was, go back to our coping mechanisms, right? Which is drugs, alcohol, food, sex, gambling, workaholism, all these things. And so, I feel, fairly blessed and fortunate that, I have a completely different toolbox now. But, even for me, a guy that, not only helps people, but, I have my own struggles, it's been challenging, and, I'm the kind of guy that, will try anything. And so, there's a lot of suggestion out there with, a lot of people are doing 5D meditation now and, all these cool things. So I've really sort of gotten into, the meditating part. Obviously it's not golf season, which, is probably, the happiest time of the year for me, because I'm always outside, I'm always golfing, whatever. But now that it's cold and whatnot, I haven't been able to be very active. And, in the mental health space, they say that movement is, one of the best things you can do when you're struggling with mental health challenges. And for me, because I suffer from depression, especially in the wintertime, it's been really hard for me to, get into some sort of exercise routine that, exponentially will help me feel better.
I want to thank the viewers for their comments, just saying congratulations on the recovery. And thanks for the comments. Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. And I think Jack Fulton. He's written in, he says, Theo, thank you, in all caps, from the bottom of my heart for what you've overcome and for what you do for others. It's hard to be thick-skinned without becoming hard-hearted. You rock.
Yeah. It's, what I find interesting about, social media is, every arena that I went into when I played, I got booed, hated, piss people off, all these things. And so, I don't know why people are so up in arms, because, I've sort of dug in my heels and really, I know what I believe in. I know, I haven't been through this journey to, not come up with ideas and thoughts and all that. And so, people are surprised now that I do that on social media as well.
I'll say this though. I concentrate on the supporters. Those are the ones that I carry with me, and that I'm that with you, and clearly Jack is with you. You have your supporters too. But sure. I got to say this to you. This is what I got to say. I went to that dinner in Delisle with you and LaRock and
George and Dennis Hall. Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe, I thought, you're up there telling Pat's Warriors stories. And I'm like, listen, man, I've tried to do junior hockey stories. Nobody cares. You had the place rolling. And I'm like, I guess you can tell junior hockey stories at a banquet. It was so funny. You talked about, you're like, I was the head of marketing for the Moose Jaw Warriors in the 80s. Tell the viewers some of that, man. That was hilarious stuff.
Well, we came to Moose Jaw basically with, I don't even know how many rookies on that team, probably 15 of them. But, there was Kelly Buckberger and Mike Keane and Mark McKay and Kent Hayes and Brian Walker. So, we had super old guys and super young guys. And so we came to Moose Jaw and, it was a built-in rivalry with Regina. And so the first game we played was in Moose Jaw in the Crush Can. And Regina came in as the number 1 rated team in Canada at that time. I think it was like 8 to 10 games in the season. And we beat them. We beat them 6-4. But what happened was we had a bench clearing brawl that sort of set up the rivalry for eternity. And and so, yeah, and Moose Jaw, we were a small market team. I think first year we might have averaged 1,400 people a game. But when Regina was there, there was people sitting in the aisles, and the fire marshal guy, stopped answering his phone that night. And so the rivalry was set in stone. And so, I knew before every game that we played against Regina that I needed to say something stupid in the paper so that both buildings would be sold out, because people would want to come and see what was going to happen. And so that's why I said not only was I a player, but I was a marketing guy too. And quickly figured out how the media worked and how important it was to get people to come out to those games.
When the beautiful part about my job is I get to talk to all you guys. And I've been in Florida the last 2 months watching Stu Grimson on NHL Network. And I was with Grimmer doing a thing in Estevan. And I said, Theo said that he called you a meathead in the leader post. And Stu's eyes rolled in the back of his head. This was like a year and a half ago. He's still mad about it. Oh, it's easy to get at some guys, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and then I ended up playing with Stu in Salt Lake City, right? In the minors. I was a rookie in the minors, and Stu was coming up as well. And him and I used to go at it in practice all the time, because I'm sure our coach, Paul Baxter, went to him before practice and said, I want you to beat the crap out of Theo in practice, because we need to get him toughened up, right? And so Stu and I would end up having stick swinging fights in practice, So, but
you must have looked like Bert and Ernie together, going at each other.
But what a great teammate, what a great guy, what a smart guy, what an intelligent guy Stu is, and I'll never forget, when we called him up and went into Edmonton, and he beat up Dave Brown, and then they basically gave Stu the keys to the city of Calgary, and then I just happened to be on the ice when both those two guys stepped over the boards, and I said to the ref, I said, "Look out, this is going to be epic." And Dave Brown ended up hitting him with probably 50 or 60 unanswered lefts and caved the right side of his face in. And Stu had a screw sticking out of his eye for about 6 weeks, recovering from that fight. So, but, just a great teammate, great guy. And, I always respected those guys that, came into the league and, made themselves into players, because for a guy like me who was getting, extra special attention on a nightly basis, it was always nice to have those guys, that stepped in and said, yeah, you can't touch Theo tonight. And if you touch Theo tonight, then, you're going to have to deal with me. So it gave me a lot more room on the ice. And I always sort of, gravitated towards the tough guys. Sandy McCarthy, to this day is one of my best friends and one of my best teammates I ever played with. And, we ended up playing together in New York. And when I was having all those struggles and tough times, and he took me under his wing, and he was one of the biggest reasons why I made it to the Olympics in 2002, because we roomed together on the road, and he looked after me, made sure that I kept it on the straight and narrow.
We needed guys like that. Sometimes we still do. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I could go on all day. I would just say this. We had Jeff Reinebold last hour, Theo, and I know you're a CFL fan or have been. Jeff's the special teams coordinator with the Alouettes. He says, can you please tell Theo, I know nothing about hockey, but he was my favorite player in the NHL. his whole career. He wanted me to pass that along. He said he loved the way you
That's
played.
awesome.
So I did that.
I
Theo, this is all I wanted.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your time in Calgary. And are you going to the game while you're here?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. I'll shoot
Well,
you.
enjoy the game. Enjoy Calgary, and try to get out to the mountains if you can.
I will. Thanks, Theo. Appreciate it, buddy. The great Theo Fleury joining us here in Cowtown. We got overtime coming up next live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. You're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
This is it. Overtime, proudly presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the National Hockey League and the UFC. Why do they keep replaying the Cowboys game over there at the sports bar? Oh, here at the Grey Eagle. Anyways, I told Moose to take overtime off. I can handle it. Just you and me, the viewers and me, the rest of the way here in overtime. There isn't a lot of time left anyways. And it is Taco Time viewer takeover time. We will be awarding a $50 gift card to the commenter of the week. Have the comment of the week. No taco or burrito or Mexi Fry references, please. Just this week alone. Let's keep it to sports. That's how we started it. And but Jeff, the Stamps fan, won last week's gift card. We will be hand delivering to him here at the Grey Eagle this week, which reminded me, I apologize. Some viewers did show up here today. If you were watching earlier, I was alerted that people were here. So I ran outside. We aren't yet open to a live studio audience, but I think we might be at some point, hopefully some point soon. You can come on down and watch the show live. Jack is watching in Vulcan, Alberta. He says, I talked to Bo on the weekend, and he's in Texas until March. He's talking about our good friend, Bo Levi Mitchell. Well, we're going to be at the Grey Eagle for a long time, into March. So don't worry.
Resort and Casino.
So listen, the invitation's there. Let's see if the Stampeders want to make it happen. John in Edmonton writes in and says, big update out of Edmonton. Oilers brass has been in meetings most of the day. Mr. Cates has aired his concerns. Brass will meet later again before a decision is made, as per Garfield. Oh, the fat cat's reporting on the Oilers now, Garfield? Cates is mad. Can he play goal? Randy, watching in the Peg, says, hey, Theo, Hall of Famer, on and off the ice. No doubt. Last minute of play in the RP show. Brian Goldstrom, watching in Withrow, Alberta, says, Theo Fleury, at bat, August 2008, I think. He sent a photo of Theo playing pro ball here in Calgary, I guess, at Cannons Park. He says, I took the family for an enjoyable afternoon till the mascot showed up. Freaked out my 5-year-old daughter. That's not the mascot's fault. Jeff, watching in the Energy City, says, always great to hear Theo. He was the player I lived to watch on Hockey Night in Canada. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jeff, for passing that along. And we just passed it along. So that'll do it. Thanks to Theron Fleury and Jeff Reinebold. It'll be a Calgary Flair all week long and for the weeks ahead. Thanks to you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow live from the Grey Eagle at noon Eastern. You're on Game Plus TV and YouTube.
You screwed up, Clark.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bingo!